Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You a little dizzy? Not dizzy enough? Good morning. What's up, people? It is June something, end of June, and hopefully you can hear me. I know it's kind of loud in here because as I'm printing what I do daily, I have two machines. This is the big one here. We have another machine that's a 14-inch machine. But today we're working on this guy. This guy right here is the, you see Santana. Santana, say what's up. He's watching TV. It's really hot in here. I haven't fully set up my warehouse yet. So right now we're set up with the big guy so that we can run this. Obviously, you know, we've got our fume extractor right down here. I keep a fan up here. The fan's going to run this hose straight out. That hose goes out my door right now. But eventually we're going to run it up the top. Right here. But right now we need to get set up because I have some contracts, some people that I print for, so I couldn't wait any longer. So anyway, I still get the question, what printer do you use? Is it beneficial to get into a big printer, a small printer? What kind of printer should I use? Well, it all depends on your budget. It all depends on, do you have the customer base? I do, and I've been lucky enough to say that I've always had it. And obviously it's grown through the years. I've had it because I've been doing it long enough. And so for those that are starting right now, I don't recommend getting into something like this. You're talking almost a $30,000 machine, unless you have the customer base, right? So we're getting ready to move into another one because of that customer base. But again, only if you have the financial means to get into something like that. And that printer that I'm referring to, the new one, is a 17-inch printer. Then obviously the next step up is this guy right here. Not until you have the financial means, though. I can't stress that enough, or the space for it. If you've watched the content long enough, then you know most recently I was in this space with this guy, and he was a crook, and I'll say that openly. I have no qualms. He was an absolute crook. And I rushed into that building. I'm gonna do a content piece about that, so I'll leave that minimal. But I rushed into that building only because I wanted to get this printer set up because I had a contract deal that I didn't want to lose. So, you know, and it wasn't a loss, it was a lesson, and obviously I got something even bigger, right? So in this space, there are a lot of plans. Me and my buddy John, Phenom, I got it, look, I'm plugging it. We're doing the consumables, right? So we're bringing in the consumables, which I'll house here, ship from here. Obviously, we have the two machines, and then there's this little box right here, right? This little space used to be an office. The beauty about having this warehouse is the landlord is so cool. He's like, man, build whatever you want to build, so long as if you ever leave, you take it down. So the plan is, within the next couple of months, my buddy's flying down from San Diego, and we're going to rebuild my recording studio. So it'll be a studio in here. So it'll be a studio right in here, right in this section right here. Next to it, you'll have the two printers. Back here, we'll have the consumables. So we want to utilize this space. We want to grow out of this space. But we want to grow into it first before we can grow out of it. One step at a time, right? So anyhow, with the small converted Epson printers, yes, you can build your clothing brand. You can probably build a small DTF business. But I wouldn't bank on the idea of building a really big transfer company on anything small and converted like that. It's too hard because it takes too much time, like I said, to print one, and by the time somebody orders from you, they're not going to want to wait extra days for you to print one print that takes 30 minutes, 20 minutes on a small little printer. Granted, they might print like 13 by 19 at the most. That's all you're going to get out of that printer. And the reason I'm talking so much about it is I was asked that in a conversation, a group conversation we were having about these new converted printers and some of these guys out here that are doing really well. I will have to, look, here's a shout out. There's a shout out to one of the guys right now. I see him. I've been tagged in the stuff. I've been asked my opinion about it. Highly flavored. I want to commend him because he's doing his thing right now. I will say this in all honesty, what he's doing is not brand new to any of us who have been in this space, but it's new to those who are trying to get into DTF and don't have an understanding about it or machines. I say what he's doing right now is what we've been doing but he's doing it on another scale, and he's doing it right now where it's fresh for people who haven't been in this industry long enough. So I don't follow the fella. I don't think we follow each other. I'll still try to find a link and tag him in here. Check him out, highly flavored. He's doing exactly what I've talked about, is becoming your own consumables person as well. I think he's offering ink powder. I saw his most recent video, ink powder film, which is what I'm doing as well, me and my buddy John. And it's not difficult to do, but that is such a smart move. However, the printer that he is using, again, it's the smaller printer that, to me, it's more beneficial if you're trying to build your own brand or just sell a couple of transfers here and there. But nothing you can build a substantial DTF transfer company with. But it's an amazing idea. I'm all over the place in this video. I just wanted to shoot something today. But I like this concept because, again, it's what I've been saying, where it's like, you don't necessarily need these big companies to do something successful. And if you look at his content, he's finding so much success doing that. But prior to him, you got to look at, now this is one of my buddies, is Big Boy. Big Boy's been doing that, right? On a larger scale for wider format printers, small printers as well. So it's being done, and it's more proof of what I've been talking about, where eventually, and this is what I'm saying, by the end of this year, 2025, it will be a takeover of small content creators, influencers, small business people, like myself, like Big Boy, like Highly Flavored, like the rest of the guys that I print with, where we now have access to get these products ourselves. And it makes more sense that when you're watching me use whatever inks, film, powder, where I'm getting it from, and you see that I'm finding success with that product, if I'm going to invest in it, I want to find the source where those consumables come from and invest in it myself, so that you're buying it from me directly. I'm branding it as my own, because eventually it will be my own, right? When you find the source. And that's what a lot of these guys are doing right now, is you don't necessarily need to go these big name companies when we can get it ourselves. But at the same time, if I am to rep a bigger company whose product I use, I most definitely do so. Obviously, I get my inks. They're the Uninet brand inks for the Uninet printer. I also use Ninja Transfers and DTF Printer USA for other consumables such as powders and things like that. I don't hide where I get certain things, because I have to be honest with the products that work for me. Although the machine, or whatever machine you get, might be from a particular company, be careful though. Be careful using just whatever random inks and things like that. You can void your warranty and you can mess up your machine. You don't want to do that. You want to be very careful as to what you're using. So I am very open that, again, I use Uninet, I use Ninja Transfers, and I use DTF Printer USA. Those are the three companies I go through for anything that I use right now, besides the stuff that me and John have invested in ourselves that I will be using as well. But I mean, I don't have anything else I really want to say. I just want to say that I told you so. I told you so. I told you DTF will be what it is today. And people be like, man, why you still keep talking about it? Because credit should be given where credit is due. And if you've watched me long enough, go to my Instagram and go super far back. Go back to, I don't know, 2019. Go back far, man. You're going to see I've been saying, man, there's this new thing coming out. A transfer. It's not quite ready yet. It's going to be the next big thing. I've been talking about it. But you got to remember this. Again, I'm all over the place with this content piece. Is there are going to be plenty of platforms that talk about, I created DTF, I brought it into the USA, I was the first, blah, blah, blah. I was not the first. I'm one of the first. Me along with several of my friends. I'm going to drop their names again. Ben Tardesign, Brother Ernest. That's the only two people that I saw pushing it as hard as I was, and Ben is my partner, so we pushed it together. And just because you may not have seen us in all these other Facebook groups and these other platforms or heard our names doesn't mean that we haven't been here. So I have caught a lot of flack sometimes when people just pop up and laugh at me like, who are you? Well, it didn't mean you needed to follow my platform to know that I am one of the first people to talk so highly about it. And several of these companies that are now offering machines and consumables and all these things, DTF, had no idea what it was, and were asking people like myself what it was, and even telling us it would never happen. But DTF is the takeover. However, be aware that, like anything else, it can become flooded. I'm not going to say it's completely flooded right now, But there's a lot of people trying to do it, and that's not to say that there's no room for everybody or anyone to do it. But eventually, you gotta find something else to bring into your business too. You don't want to be a one-trick pony and just like, okay, I just offer transfers. Well, what else do you do? What else can you offer your customer base besides just transfers? Vinyl is still a great thing to do. You do have UV DTF. There are plenty of things still out there that you can do. Don't be the one-trick pony. Although DTF is a great thing, there's still screen printing. I want to get back into screen printing. I have the space. I got the space where I can do it now, right? So I want to bring screen printing back in here as well and offer that. There are a lot of great things. But again, be able to utilize everything you know how to do and offer that to your customer base. And obviously, marketing is an important thing. Be able to get on video. Be able to get out in front of these people and talk about what you have. Promote your ish. Just promote it. Be proud of what you're doing. Stand firm in what you're doing. Because if you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, then that confidence is going to spew out and people will trust you even more. So anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with that, man, and I'm just highly blessed. I'm highly happy. And I hope that you guys are as well. And to all the other content creators, all the other small businesses, everyone else trying to get into this, I wish you all the success on the planet because there's enough room for all of us to get it. So let's go.